You've got the time management skills, you got the soft skills, you know how to exercise good judgment, you know how to deal with office politics. Like, you guys excel in that, okay? And that is an advantage over many traditional law students. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Angela. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Angela. Hey, hello. I do videos about law school, lawyer life, sometimes real estate, personal finance, and all things in between. Now, today's video is going to be for my non-traditional students, for my people who are considering going to law school later in life, okay? I will say though, I was hesitant to do this video. I have gotten a ton of inquiries regarding this subject, but I've been hesitant to do the video just because that has not been my experience. If you guys are not new to the channel, you guys know I went straight to law school right after undergrad and went straight into my legal career right after law school. So my experience is very limited on this topic. However, now that I have been out of law school and into my career for some time, I do think that I can give some insight as to what I would consider before going to law school as a non-traditional older student, as well as some things that I see as an advantage to making law a second career. And this is just from my perspective as someone who, my first job after undergrad, my first career job was being a lawyer. So I thought it would be cool to do a video based on my perspective, okay? Before we get into the video, you guys, I really do want to make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please comment on the video and provide feedback. If you do enjoy my channel and you find my channel helpful, please help me by letting YouTube know that you like my videos by liking, subscribing, and commenting, you guys. You guys already know I have a very crazy life, but I do try to make good content for you guys, and content that you guys have told me yourself has been very helpful. So how you can help me out is to support the channel. It's free, all right? All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the topic. Let's first talk about what I mean by non-traditional law student. In this case, I am talking about people who take some time off between college and law school, or being a lawyer might be their second career. So the average law student these days is between the ages of 24 and 26. So I'm talking to my 30+ people, and sometimes in 40s and 50s. I've had some of you guys reach out where you guys are in your 40s and 50s. So I'm talking to any age range that's just kind of not in the majority of those who tend to go to law school. Now, like I said, I've heard from many of you about your concerns about being a non-traditional law student and fear of, you know, age discrimination or not getting things, and just hesitancy about going into law as a second career or later in life. From my perspective, I think a lot of those concerns just come from knowing that most people, when you get to law school, will be a lot younger than you. The good news is I do not think that discrimination, age discrimination, is a big reason for the fact that many people who go to law school are usually on a traditional track. I think less people go into law school at an older age just because of life circumstances, right? And we'll get into that a little bit. But I don't think a huge factor is age discrimination, especially law school. I know there might be some concerns about employment and employment track, particularly in the law firm space, but I don't think that when it comes to getting admitted into law school and becoming a lawyer, there's a bunch of age discrimination going on. I just think that people tend to want to kind of get that out of the way if they're going to do it, or they get in a space in life where they just don't have the time to commit to law school, the bar exam, and all the things that come along with being a lawyer. Like I said, I do think there are advantages to being a non-traditional law student. But before that, I do want to give some considerations that you guys can ponder as you're thinking about law school, as you're preparing to go to law school as a non-traditional student. My first piece of advice would be make sure you have a plan for your legal career, okay? At this stage in your life, you want to have a plan, you want to have a target, you want to have something that you're aiming for. And frankly speaking, you want to make sure it's something that you actually want to do, okay? You'll find that many lawyers, many lawyers go into the profession and don't like it, and they leave the profession or they seek different paths that they can do with their law degree. And I think a lot of that comes from people going straight into law school after college. Some people go to law school because they don't have anything else to do. Some people go to law school because their parents said they should go. A lot of times people go to law school for the wrong reasons and don't necessarily know what they are signing up for as a lawyer. I would say if you are considering pivoting into a new career, do all the research you can on what it's like to be a lawyer, what lawyer life is like, and know exactly what field you want to go into and what type of law you want to practice. Now, this is advice I usually don't give to law students. You know, when you're a more traditional law student and you're young, I feel like, you know, it's okay to go into law school not knowing what it is that you want to do, because you have plenty of time to figure it out. I feel like a majority of people, their first job that they start might not be the career path that they go down. But if you are on the more non-traditional track and this is the second career, I think one thing that you should do before you go into law school is really sit down and understand why it is you want to go to law school, what type of lawyer you want to be, and what you see that second career looking like for yourself. Okay, this next one is a big one. Prepare and consult with your loved ones. Now, this is something that many traditional students I tell to do. Let your parents know, let your boyfriend know that you're gonna be studying, that you might not be able to come home for every holiday, that you might not be able to party that much anymore with your friends. So this is advice that I would give to a traditional law student, but I think it's even more important when you're a non-traditional student. And let me tell you why. Circumstances of life are going to vary for everyone, no matter what age they are. However, as a non-traditional law student, you're more likely to have lived a little bit, right? So what does that mean? It's likely you have a spouse. It's likely you have children. It's likely you have someone who depends on you for their livelihood, I should say, okay? So if you are going to go to law school and you have commitments to your spouse, to your kids, to your parents, you know, you might take care of your parents who are older in age or anything of that nature, something you're gonna have to prepare them for, okay? Because it's going to be a huge commitment, okay? You're gonna have to be doing a lot of studying, a lot of test taking, and you're going to need some time to be, I hate to say it, but selfish. You're going to need to be able to take a lot of time to focus on your studies. And this rings true even for those who go to part-time law school. Some law schools do have part-time law school, which allows you to still work and, you know, do other commitments, but still, law school is just a big commitment no matter what. So you should definitely prepare your loved ones and the people that depend on you for this journey that you're about to embark on. The next thing I would do is prepare yourself, okay? Prepare yourself to be a student again. If you've been out of school for years, oh, there's gonna be some preparation. Studying, reading, test taking, you're gonna be a little rusty likely. And let me remind you that law school is a much bigger commitment than college, okay? So even, you know, if you think back to your college days and you say, oh, okay, like I can do that, I can manage that. Law school is a little bit different. Actually, it's a lot different. So you have to prepare yourself mentally to get in that studious space, okay? Because, you know, it's likely that you've had a job, so you're disciplined, you're mature, you're motivated, you have a routine, but studying and working are two different things, okay? It's likely that it's gonna take some time to adjust and integrate into being a student again after being out of school for so long, okay? And for those of you who might be a little bit more seasoned, I would get up on your technology, I would type my notes, take my exams electronically. I would make sure you are meeting the right people so you can get connected in resources. I mean, I think the millennials and younger just have a way of finding resources easier than the older generation. So I would touch up on those technology and resourcefulness skills in that area. Also, another thing is just the limitation of time, right? Again, for non-traditional students, they just tend to be at a point in life where their life just doesn't revolve around them and their studies like many of the traditional students. Your time is more limited, so you're gonna have to touch up on your time management skills and make time for all of your commitments, but also make sure you're prioritizing studying as well as participating in law school organizations, events, and things like that. So yeah, that's just something to just kind of be thinking about and kind of get ready for. So the next thing is know that law school options may be limited for you, okay? So if you want to continue to work while in school, well, most law schools won't allow you to do that unless you're in a part-time program. So you will need to find a law school that has a part-time program. As a non-traditional student, you might have a pretty set life, a home, you know, a family. And so you can't just up and move to wherever just because you got into law school there. So it's likely that you might want to stay in the area that, you know, you and your family or whoever lives in, right? So that's also going to limit your law school options because you're going to want to find a place that is near where you currently are settled. So those are just things to think about too. And then lastly, also the costs, right? You know, depending on the school, law school costs $200,000, $300,000, you know? And as we all know, once you have dependents and mortgages and all those fun things, you kind of got to be mindful of what you're spending your money on, and definitely taking out debt later in life versus taking out debt at 24 years old looks a little bit different, okay? So those are some things you might consider when thinking about your options for law school. Lastly, I would say to think about your plan for paying for law school. Like I just mentioned, law school can be a ton of money, okay? Law school is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, okay? Let's just be upfront with it, right? So having a plan for how you pay for law school is key, okay? Whether you will take out loans, or you've saved up money for it, or whether you and your spouse will pay for it, your family will pay for it, whoever. But you really should consider the cost of law school and how it'll affect other obligations in your life. Because like I said, the more seasoned we get, the more obligations and dependence we have. So we want to be mindful of that, you know, especially depending on your age. You know, are you going to law school around the time your kids are going to start going to college? And do you plan to pay for law school, your kids' college, and those types of things? So yeah, just have a plan for how you pay for law school. All right, so now that we touched on some considerations, I just want to throw out there, I am not discouraging anybody from going to law school. If it is your dream, if it is what you want to do, I truly believe we can all do whatever it is that we put our mind to as long as we are willing to put the work in. So let's talk about the advantages of being a non-traditional law student. So again, this is not from personal experience. This is just based on my experience as a working lawyer and what I would tell myself if I went back to law school. The first one is career and professional skills. You guys, many of us who graduate from law school, it is our first job. That was me. I had no experience working in a professional environment. These are all learned skills that I had to adapt. And like many recent graduates, skills that I lacked up until I got that experience. And that is where my non-traditional folks tend to excel. This is not your first go round, okay? You know how to handle office politics, fire drills, bad things happen, how to bounce back. You guys have got that down. And that is amazing because you'll kind of integrate really easily when it comes to those things. Having a routine, you know, kind of this 9-to-5 work life, you guys, you've already been there, done that, wrote the book. So that is really great. You got the time management skills, you got the soft skills, you know how to exercise good judgment, you know how to deal with office politics. Like you guys excel in that, okay? And that is an advantage over many traditional law students. Another thing that I think is a huge asset, and I've experienced it just by, you know, seeing other people with my own eyes, but if you have a specialized skill set or you were in a specialized career and you go into a specialized practice of law where you can apply that skill set, you guys are the best. For example, a tax lawyer who is a CPA, oh, you got it. Or engineers who go into intellectual property, oh, you guys are the best. That experience allows you to bring in such specialized knowledge that is super, super valuable. So that is a huge advantage a lot of people have when they come in from a first career. Another advantage is non-traditional students tend to be confident in themselves, more confident in themselves than your traditional students, and also more clear on their path and their purpose as a future lawyer. This is a big one, okay? Like I mentioned before, a lot of people go into law school for various reasons that aren't the right reasons, and then they end up switching careers or hating their career and not wanting to do what it is that they thought they wanted to do. And again, I mean, going into law school as a 21-year-old, that's really, really young. You know, I know that's what I did. And so once you've lived a little, once you've experienced life, once you know what you value, I think you just tend to be a little bit more practical and intentional with the choices that you make and the things that you desire to do. So that's a huge one. I don't think many people make huge career switches like that and not sure about what they're doing, as well as have really made a plan for themselves. So that's a huge benefit, because it's likely that you're going to switch to this career and be fulfilled and feel happy in it, while so many traditional students don't like it. So for all of my past, present, and future non-traditional law students out there, say hello in the comments. Let me know a little bit about yourself, what type of law you want to practice, when you start school, when did you graduate, all the things, okay? Let me know in the comments and let's get to chatting. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment on the video, you guys. Again, it really helps the channel. If you guys want to continue seeing content like this, let me know by showing your support, all right? I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.